to the forum. I'm so happy and glad that you joined us for our third episode today. Today's topic is a heavy one. It is secret sadness and our silence to suicide. I want to let you know that according to the CDC, 1 in 3 youth have reported feeling sad or hopeless. Death by suicide is the second leading cause of death among youth aged 10 to 24, which means we're losing more young people to suicide than we are to COVID-19 in the United States. As a matter of fact, more teenagers and young adults die from suicide than from cancer, heart disease, AIDS, birth defects, stroke, the flu, pneumonia, and chronic lung disease combined. Each day in our nation, there is an average of over 3,000 suicide attempts by young people in grades 9 through 12. And if these percentages were applied to grades 7 and 8, the percentages would be much, much higher. 4 out of 5 teens who attempt suicide have given clear warning signs to those around us, which makes this topic so very important. Again, I'm glad you are here, and I want to welcome 3 brave youth who have decided to come on the show and talk to us. And so I want you to please help me welcome Sky, Stephanie, and Jaslyn.
Hi, my name is Stephanie.
Hi, it's Jaslyn.
Hi.
Welcome again. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining us. So let's get right to it. Our first question for today is emotional pain, extreme sadness, or depression something that you or your friends think is an important issue?
So personally, I think that emotional pain and stress and just like extreme sadness is an issue for teens like now in this generation, just because I feel like there's like so many relationships that happen and it just creates a lot of stress. And whenever like you break up or someone cheats or something, it ends up getting to everyone and it just like makes you really sad, and it just like puts a lot of stress on you. School puts a lot of stress on you. So yeah, and I feel like there should be like ways that you should be able to like talk to your parents, counselor, whatever, but like no one really wants to, because no one wants to like talk things out anymore. I don't know why, but it's just like an issue now.
Personally, I do think the stuff listed is a big issue for teens, just due to the fact of like insecurities or like feeling a certain way about yourself or your body, or how people view you or anything. Like that could play a big role on like how people feel about themselves or their mental state.
Absolutely. Many teens have a lot of responsibilities and don't grow up in the best homes, and I feel like everything from the childhood comes up in their teen years, and I feel like high stress comes from school and just having a lot of responsibilities. Some may be their main income because parents can't work and stuff like that, but I do think emotional pain and sadness and stress is a very big thing that impacts a lot of kids today.
Thank you so much, ladies. So I heard you guys give a lot of very different responses to, first of all 3 of you believe that this is really important issues that impact you and your friends. I heard you guys mention your home life, body image, how your friends think about you, responsibilities that you guys have, and school stress. Just life in general can be high stressors for you all as young people. So I thank you all for your answer. I'm going to move on to question 2. All right. How much do you guys think that the protests that you see on TV, COVID-19, quarantining, social media, and school impact your emotions or the emotions of the friends you have?
When it comes to protests and COVID-19 quarantine and all that stuff, I feel, for me personally, I feel like I want to go out there and be a part of the protests, and I want to be a part of all those changes. But then again, with COVID-19, I feel like I should quarantine myself and stay not far away from people, but stay from a safe distance and just really use social media as a platform to show my support and show how I'm educating myself and all those things. And I feel like it shows quarantine and COVID-19, I feel like, has made not only a positive but a negative impact on these teens, because COVID-19, we're forced to quarantine for our safety and safety of others, and I feel like we can feel lonely and we can feel like almost as if we're alone in this world and we don't have anybody, and I feel like that's the negative thing about it. Positive wise, I feel like it shows that we can overcome anything and that we can better ourselves, and yeah.
I feel like COVID has definitely impacted everyone's life, and the protestings that are like have been happening or have happened really have like opened a lot of people's eyes to problems and issues that have been happening behind like closed doors, and I feel like it's impacted us in like a positive way, because it's really just like opened more eyes to issues, and people are willing to talk more about them and not just like talk about things that don't matter.
Personally, again, I think COVID and quarantine has impacted my like mental health. Like it made a huge impact on it, just due to the fact of being in the house all the time. My routine, like everything is like not how it used to be, and just like things get repetitive, and like that can play a huge role on like your mental health or how you feel about yourself. So yeah, but also social media, like just social media in general, like what you see on social media, all the people, how you're supposed to look a certain way or how you're supposed to act a certain way. I think that has a huge impact on teens, especially.
Okay, so thank you, ladies. It sounds like you all mentioned COVID-19 as being something that impacts your thoughts and your emotions and mental well-being. You all three mentioned that, as well as social media and just, overall stressors. So I want to thank you all for that. My third question is, do you feel like you and your friends have an outlet to talk about some of these things?
Personally, I have a therapist, like a counselor, to like talk about like how I feel during the week and like during like quarantine and everything. I'm not sure my friends like have an outlet or like people to talk to. I mean, they could always talk to me, but like I don't know if they have like that outlet or anything.
Yes and no. Our schools do a really good job of keeping our schools. We don't talk about politics, and we can talk about a little bit about current events if it's not a sensitive topic. But I feel as if like what I'm doing right now is a great way to express our feelings about a lot of sensitive topics, and I feel like us teens, we're Generation Z, I feel like we should be able to not only express what we feel, but maybe get a seat at the table and actually be a part of the conversations that will make the day tomorrow, and build our future. And I feel like teens and myself, I feel like we are not taken seriously because we're seen as very emotional, very hormonal, or we're just moody teenagers that don't know what we're talking about. But in reality, we've been educating ourselves. With all this time at home, we educate ourselves, and we're here and we're learning stuff every day with Instagram, Snapchat, the news, everything, our TVs, Netflix, like everything is educational, and we're finding our ways to find out more and be able to spread a positive message and to actually be able to talk about these topics. For now, I think we're doing a really good job where we're at, and hopefully one day we can be able to freely talk and have an outlet to actually talk about these topics.
Personally, with my friends, I feel like we can talk about things like all of these topics just because we're all like going through it, and so it's just like easier to talk to people who are experiencing the same things that you're experiencing. So there's really like no problem with me talking to like my friends about my problems that I'm going through or anything.
Thank you, ladies, so much for that. Just to recap, sounds like you all gave very different answers. Sky, you were saying that you talk to your friends, and so which is an awesome outlet that I think most of you all have. And then Jaslyn, you said you talked to a counselor, which is awesome. And Stephanie, you mentioned that outlets like the forum allow you to use your voice, but that you hope that there'll be other opportunities for you and your friends to talk more about these topics. So thank you all so much for that. All right, I'm going to go on to question number 4, and that is, do you think that it would be good to have a class to teach kids how to talk about topics like this, including suicide? Why or why not?
Yes, I think that there should definitely 100% be a class for stuff like that because not everyone has like friends that they can go to or family members that they can go to talk about because they're either scared or just like afraid of judgment or like anything, even both. And so I feel like there should be a class, like a safe space for them to be able to talk to, not even just like a counselor or a therapist, but definitely a class. Especially for suicide, because I know a lot of teenagers do commit suicide, and I mean, it's like really sad, and it's really because they've never had like that help or like been shown love. So I definitely feel like this should be a class so they can like find better alternatives to handle their depression, their stress, and just like suicidal thoughts as a whole.
Why or why not? I think that would be amazing because I know that most counselors are not, nothing is confidential, nothing is where what they say that there is I've known many counselors where you go in for the littlest things, like you just want to sit down and talk about what's going on at school, and they talk to your parents about it. And I feel like we should have a safe space and a safe classroom to not only talk about these sensitive topics, but to be able to handle them and not be so closed out, because I feel like they really like push those out, and they don't really. We have a class a year about suicide and depression and how to handle stress, and I feel like that's not enough. And I feel like depression with teenagers is a real thing, and I feel like stress is a big part of it, and more kids are taking their own lives because they don't know how to handle it, they don't know who to turn to. And I feel if we have a safe space where we can freely talk and everything can be confidential and it can be one-on-one or maybe in a support group, I feel like that would make such a difference in this world and with our classmates and how we treat one another.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I think there should be a class, like just to talk about stress, depression, or like suicide, because that's a really big issue, especially for teens, just because like what people say to you or how people say things, or like how you feel about yourself, how you think others feel about you. I just feel like that plays a major role in like depression and suicidal thoughts or anything of that nature. So yeah, I think teens or like people in general should like have a class to just like let it all out and not like having to bottle up everything, you know?
Wow, that is awesome. Sounds like all three of you agree that there definitely should be a class offered at school or somewhere for you all to have an outlet that you can talk about these things every day or every week. I love what Stephanie mentioned, that the schools right now only offer that once a year in service to talk about suicide and depression, and that is not enough for you all. And so I definitely think that is very valid, and I think adults need to know that you all need more of an outlet. And I just want to thank you guys so much for voicing your opinion about that. We are going to take a show break, and we've gotten a word that Sky is going to stay with us for one more question, and then she'll have to go, but Stephanie and Jaslyn will be able to stay with us for a few more questions. So you guys stay tuned, hold on, and join us for part 2 of this episode. This is the